Hey everyone, welcome to Booster Tutor. I'm Brendan, and today we're going to take things a little just laid back, and we're going to talk about Cube. So I talk about Cube on this a lot, and I've never actually shown off my Cube or anything, and people are like, hey, like what is your Cube exactly? So today we're going to take a look at my Cube. We're going to look at the multicolored section of it. But first off, you might be asking, what exactly is Cube? Okay, so imagine drafting a set, say like Dominaria, but instead of it being Dominaria, it's cards without magic history. It's kind of like a master set almost, but it's one that you make. So you get just, 300, 500 cards or whatever, and you just make a draft set out of it, basically. And it's a ton of fun. I have to say, it's probably one of the most fun formats I've ever played. First time I ever played it, I got introduced to it by my friend Chad. He was at the shop one day and I was like, hey, you want a cube? And I was like, what exactly is that? And then he explained it to me. And when I sat down to start drafting cards, like, oh, holy crap, there's like so many cards that are amazing. Like Underground Sea and like Force of Will and just like all these old cards just with these newer cards making crazy interactions. I went a like black blue reanimate deck, so it was like turn one Entomb, then then get rid of Grizzlebrand, reanimate Grizzlebrand. Like it was just crazy, so much fun because I won. So of course it was fun to me. And I was like, okay, I got to make one of these. So I've been playing Magic for years, and I never really get rid of my cards. So I have like a ton of cards everywhere. And I was like, okay, awesome, I can make a cube easily. I have a ton of cards throughout Magic's history. So I started making one, and then I realized, you know what? I have a ton of foils because I hate foil. I used to hate foils, I should say. I always thought like they're so overpriced and like who cares? It's the same thing. It's just a little flashy, whatever. But I was like, I have a ton of these. I'll just make a foil, like start foiling this cube out type of thing, and we'll do that. So I start making it. It's a mix of foils and non-foils, and I have it like one of those things that the gift boxes, and I take it to the shop with a bunch of cards to just trade away because I want to try and just not spend too much money on it and stuff. And then I'm there really late, and I'm really lazy at night, so I leave my cards in my car. Go to work, everything's fine. At work, my car gets broken into, of course. They take my bag, but they don't touch the cube, and they leave another bag for some reason. I think it was just too much. It's too big for it has more magic cards in it. But they take a bag, and I was just so distraught. And I was like, oh, like when your stuff gets stolen, you pretty much want to quit Magic because you're like, what's the point? And I was there, but then I was like, you know what? I still have like a ton of cards that I'm just not using, and I just like shipped them all off to a buy list. And I was like, I'm just gonna focus on this cube and just get this done and just like make it the best cube I can. So I get a ton of credit, and I start getting like a bunch of foils for my cube, and just been working on it since then. I've tried not to spend too much, if any money really, just trading and buy listing stuff, just having Magic pay for the cube basically. I mean, I've bought a few things here and there if like I get a really good deal, but basically it's just been trading and stuff like that. So my cube, which is dumb, its stipulation is only things that are foil and modern border. So I did that because I didn't want to put dual lands, and I didn't want to get like the really expensive foils like Gaia's Cradle or Grim Monolith or anything like that. I wasn't going to like spend $1,000 on one card. So I was like, no, we're good with that. Just modern border. But it also gave me the chance to get older cards like Wheel of Fortune because of Judge foils. So those are a modern border. So I got stuff like that. So it's like, okay, cool, nice little balance there. Don't even talk about me when they change the border for later on. But yeah, those are still in there. That's fine. So basically, that's my cube. Speaking of, it's right here. This is my cube vault, which I got for my birthday. Thank you. Has a little lock here. Don't look at my combo, please. So we have the cards here, all in my little blue sleeves. Lands here, all color coded. Got some dice, some tokens, a little whiteboard in case, whatever. But yeah, that's my cube. Love it. My cube's a little just, whatever. I kind of just want to, in these videos I'm going to do, just go over my cube, show you all what it looks like, because I talk about it all the time. People are like, hey, what's your cube? And, here we go, finally do that. So sorry it's a little self-indulgent, but it's probably just me rambling about my cube for a while. And then I want to just this to be a lead in to talk about cube more, like maybe go over sets and like what would be good cube cards and just stuff like that. So I used to listen to all these like cube podcasts, but they all kind of just went to the wayside because cube, it's hard to talk about on and on. Like at a certain point, you're just like, yeah, we've talked about everything there is to talk about cube, but hey, I haven't done that yet, so let's do that. Today we're gonna be over multicolor. So sit back, relax, just let it all sink in, do something else while you listen to me ramble about my cube. All right. All right, I'm gonna start with Azorius. One of my favorite cards of all time right here is Geist of Saint Traft. Innistrad, it's kind of where I really got into drafting. This card is amazing. I played it in Standard. Love this card. There's no way it's not making my cube, and it's just an amazing cube card because, wow, it just like comes down. If it comes down early, you kind of already win the game. Yeah, they can just block it, but it's such a good card. Love it. Next, Reflector Mage. So good. It got banned in Standard. I don't know if that's the reason, but wow, is this card annoying? At Uncommon was like just a crazy card. In Draft, it's not as good as it was in Standard, of course, but it's still, even in Draft, it's a really good card, and I think that's probably why it makes the cube. And that art in foil, so good. Spell Queller, another great card, even in cube, just easily first pick, even those two colors. This card, I got like at the height of its hype, so I probably overtraded for it. But I was afraid like it was seeing some modern play. I was like, it's only going to go up in foil if like it sees a lot of modern play. Didn't really, but oh well. That's what you do when you trade for foil. They only trade for it, so that's not too bad. Azorius Charm. It's a great charm. It does just so much. Every mode, you're like, ooh, which one should I do? Because they're all so good. You have Lifelink, which, isn't great, but can turn a game around. Drawing a card is always great. And just, bouncing with other creatures. Sphinx's Revelation. What else can you say? Freaking, like, the white-blue card. It's exactly what this type of deck wants. This, in my cube, white and blue, typical control deck, basically. Like, nothing fancy. This whole cube is nothing, like, crazy shenanigans going on. So, this card, of course, is going to make it. Brago, King Eternal. There's a lot of Enter the Battlefield effects in blue and white in my cube, so he's awesome. Just for that, basically, over on his own, he's like, he's not that great. But if you're able to draft that deck, of course, he's amazing. So we got that going on, just because I also love ETBs. Supreme Verdict, it's amazing. Board wipe. I don't have a ton of board wipes, because they can just get so unfun. Like, I think I have Damnation and also Wrath of God. Maybe Day of Judgment, just because of the full art, but can't really remember. We'll see when I get to white. But I had to have this one, just because, it's a control deck, you got to. And Grand Arbiter, it's also just what a control deck wants. This one I could see cutting if something better comes along. But it's just such an annoying card, and I don't know, I kind of love that for white and blue, just to have this thing, and that makes all your spells cost less, but then their spells cost more. Love it. It's just so stupid. All right, now let's move on to Dimir. Okay, so yes, I know I'm dumb, but I had to add some mill in my cube because I love mill, and yeah, it's kind of broken in like a limited format when we have 40 card decks, but I don't care. Still gonna run some of it. And you know what? I don't know if it's enough to really do like a whole mill deck, so it's kind of a trap, but you still gotta try. So of course we have Glimpse. Then we have Mind Funeral, which just is dumb. Milling till they hit, 4 lands? And the art, look at that art. Both those, just awesome arts. But yeah, like I said. And then we have Lazav, Dimir Mastermind. I don't know what that is. But yes, he's a little mana intensive at double blue, double black. But if you're putting things in the graveyard just for milling and stuff, he's awesome for that. He doesn't work all the time, but he's just a fun card, I think, to have like a reason to kind of go that. If you get him, you're like, oh, then maybe I'll do this mill deck, or if I already have this mill deck, hey, he fits in there fine. And on his own, he's not that bad, so I like him. But I could see cutting him eventually. Night Spectre, just an awesome card. I remember playing this in Limited, and oh my gosh, so stupid. Just so much fun. Just like take their cards and play them. Far and Away. I mean, it's a way for kind of the stab removal. It's just bouncing and then also making him sacrifice something. You can get both. That's awesome. But if you just do one or the other, that can always be fine. Now, it's not just mill for black and blue. It's also kind of control-y. So we have Hostage Taker here to just, get rid of their creature or their artifact or something, And then we have Dragon Lord Solmgar. Is that his name? I think. So I don't usually have Japanese or like foreign cards in my cube because if someone who doesn't play Magic that much or doesn't know the cards, like they're not going to know what this does. But he's the 6 mana, 3/5 flying death touch. When it comes to play, you steal their creature or planeswalker, or your opponent's, and you keep him as long as he's on the battlefield. So great control card, just a big swingy creature who he comes down, you take their best creature, and now you're ahead. Just such a good card, great for black and blue for controlling. Nothing with mill, but still, that's great. And then, but to end on mill, our planeswalker is Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. This card, I don't know, it's just fun to me. It's dumb and fun, and it mills, and I love that. It's very narrow, I know, but I mean, Dimir doesn't have what's the other one, Tezzeret, Angel of Bolas, and that's super narrow too. So I kind of like this better for my cube just because I have a little mill theme going on. All right, next we have Izzet. So of course you gotta have Keranos, God of Storms. This card's freaking amazing. 5 mana for 6/5, indestructible, as long as you have devotion. But I mean, even if you don't have devotion, he still is just drawing cards and getting damage. This deck, it's kind of spells matters, but I think I need to make it more heavily spells matters just to give it more of its own identity, because he just works in that deck so well. And if that's what this is, I mean, that's a great sign to give it, but on his own, it's just awesome. Is it Charm? Just, damage, countering, drawing cards, discarding, whatever. It's great. It's exactly what this type of deck wants. Now, Niv Mizzet the Firemind, I think he's not long for this cube, but he was one of my first cube cards I got, and the full art one, and I just love that art. I love the full art, so I've kind of just been keeping him on because of that. Because when I first started my cube, he was like, I gotta get him. Look at that. That's awesome. So he might be around for a bit longer, but I don't know if he's long for it. Electrolyze, more spells matter, doing damage, drawing cards. That's what this Izzet loves to do. Deck's Duplicate. Doesn't really fit the Spells Matters deck, but he's just a great card. I mean, the fact that, say, you are doing Spells Matters, and you don't have, great creatures, you can just take their best creature, basically, take a copy of it, and now it has haste, and gets the, was it Dethrone? Is that what it's called? Whatever, it gets counters in it. Just so good. Love it. And then Dak Faden. Another card where, I got a foil, and I was like, well, I gotta run this guy, but I just don't know if he's that great. I have a lot of artifacts, but I don't know if he's good enough for it. I mean, his +1 is great, but yeah, gaining control of target artifact, that's very, not gonna happen too often. And, the -6 is nice, but I don't know. I like him, and, he was an expensive foil when I got him, so, but yeah, he might be cut, because I also have I have 2 planeswalkers. I tried to stay to 1 planeswalker per multiple colors. It doesn't always happen. This one has 2, and then some don't even have any, as we saw with Azorius, which I'd probably get Teferi maybe. He's not bad. But, Ral Zarek, I just always like Ral Zarek. He's not the most exciting card, but he does work. Tap permanent, then untap another one, deal damage, and then his stupid coin flip, which I always love just because it's so random, and I love randomness in my cube. Just fun things that happen. Okay, let's go on to Golgari. So, Grizzly Salvage, this was in my cube for a while, then I cut it, and I was like, you know what, let's go with the whole graveyard creatures matter for Golgari, because that's just what that color does. So I have Grizzly Salvage, which will get you a creature or land card and puts things in your graveyard, which is awesome because you're going to be getting stuff back. You got Marin, who is just, so broken in Commander. Pretty good in my cube too, I have to say. You're drawing or getting creatures, putting in your hand, or just putting on the battlefield. So exactly what this deck wants to do. Deathrite Shaman. I mean, he cares about things in the graveyard because he's either doing damage or making mana or gaining you life. And he only costs 1, and there's a reason he's banned in like everything. He's amazing. It's a planeswalker creature, basically. Then we got removal. We got Putrefy. Artifacts or creatures can't be regenerated. Abrupt Decay. I don't know what that does. And then Pernicious Deed, which is just kind of a board wipe. My friends got me the Judge Foil for my birthday, and that art is beautiful, so I had to put it in my cube. And it was in my cube already, but I was like, well, I'm definitely changing that art and putting it in there. Then Maelstrom Pulse, which more removal, a lot of removal in green, black, but I mean, it's black. What do you expect? It's going to have a ton of removal. And then lastly, our Planeswalker, if you can see it, is Garruk Apex Predator. Let me see if I can get it better. There you go. It's the San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Cons, I'm sorry, they suck for Cube. They are just so hard to read. Like, your opponent puts this down and you're like, let me see that because I can't read a single thing of that. And yeah, they look great on like paper on the website and stuff, but in real life paper, they just don't work. So he is, of course, 5 black, green, 4 abilities, +1, destroy another target planeswalker. Okay, I mean, sure, I guess that's going to happen not that often. Another +1, put a 3/3 black beast creature with Death Touch on battlefield. That's awesome. I'll take that. He comes down for 7, protects himself, going to kill whatever they try and run into your planeswalker. -3, destroy target creature. You're getting life equal to its toughness. So you're destroying their creature, getting life, or if you have something with high toughness and you need life. I mean, that's not ideal, but sometimes it has to happen. And then -8, target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a creature attacks you, it gets +5/+5 and gains trample to end the turn. So basically all your creatures will get +5/+5 and trample whenever you attack them. So the black-green planeswalkers are basically Vraska, and the old one wasn't good enough. The new one could be, but I like to try and wait till rotation to get my foil cards, just because I'm cheap like that, but whatever. Next, we have Selesnya. It doesn't show in this, but I tried to do like a token matters with my green and white. But he's kind of the only one that cares about tokens, but he really cares about tokens, I have to say. He makes tokens, which is awesome, and then he just doubles all the tokens you have. So if you get him, you definitely want to try and get a tokens deck, which there is in this. Voice Resurgence, I mean, that's just an awesome card. It's cheap. It can make an army. And also it's tokens, but you know, really depends on the deck you're playing against, but still just, I mean, for 2 mana, who cares? Dromoka's Command, you know, I don't like Selesnya Charm that much. Dromoka's Command, I think, is just so much better. You have to make them, like, it helps, because it has 4 abilities, and you get to choose 2. It has so many abilities, you can't not run it, I feel like, and it's one of the better ones. Night of the Reliquary, I mean, this is like a cube staple, but also, I'm not very excited by Night of the Reliquary. But yeah, I think this is one I could easily cut just to try and get my tokens matter to go a little bit more. So, Pride Mage, it's just an awesome card because it has Exalt and it has a way to destroy artifacts or enchantments. So it's just all around like a good card. And it's 2 mana for a 2/2. Then when it attacks alone, it's a 3/3. So it's just one of those cards you're like, yeah, I'll always run this. Sigarda, Host of Herons. I mean, 5 mana for 5/5 flying hexproof, that's nice. But the fact that you can't sacrifice stuff, that's just, it's like a little, it's just like the cherry on top. If you're playing against black or something, because there's so many just ways to make people sack stuff. So love this card. Just, and you know, it's an early foil I got. I think I opened this in a box or something. I was like, heck yeah, I gotta run this. Did I get any other things here? No, nothing really there that's exciting for a story. And then Kitchen Finks, the promo. I just love that art. I know a lot of people hate it, but it's so ugly and I love it. And that card's just amazing. Just, yeah. All right, let's move on to Gruul. So we got Gore Clan Rampager. So I used to run the stupid instant that was like +4/+2 and give something trample. I was like, this is pretty good. Like, that's a good way to get him. This guy is so much better in so many ways. Like, you can Blood Rush to make it even better than that. It's +4/+4 in trample. Or you can just pay 4 mana and get a 4/4 trample. Like, wow, that hurts so much. Love it. I love that they made a promo for it, so you can easily get an alternate art and foil. So that's awesome. Fire Spout. I mean, it's just a nice little like card to try and wipe the board of stuff you don't like. You're not playing. Like if they have a bunch of flyers, you can take out their flyers. If there's stuff on the ground and you have flyers, it's just nice options and a nice little like mini wipe. Bloodbraid Elf. I mean, come on, like this card's amazing, just so good. Works very well in green, red because there's a lot of creatures you can hit. And I got the alternate art because I just love that art so much. Clan Defiance. Here's one. I don't really see too much, but I like it because I love the options of it. And there's just so many ways to kill things or just take out hit a player. Maybe it's not the most exciting thing, but I love the fact that it has just so many options to try and just take out something that's really bugging you, be it creature or player. Huntmaster of the Fells. Come on, this guy's amazing. He just makes a little army on his own. He's annoying. He's probably in every cube in green-red, I would say. The only downside about him is he isn't legendary for commander. Xenagos, God of Rebels. One of the best gods, I think, out there. Just 5 mana for a 6/5 with indestructible, blah, 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 devotion. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is its creature's power. So if it's him, freaking 12/5 coming at you, and he's indestructible, anything with trample, freaking the Gore Clan Rampager, freaking 8/8 with trample, or you could just give something +4/+4. It's just so good. It goes so well in this deck. This deck is basically just, your typical mid-range, awesome creatures to then get into bigger creatures type of thing. And then Sarkhanval is our Planeswalker. I always have trouble with the Gruul Planeswalkers because there's Arlen Cord, who I had for a little bit, but she just never got drafted because I don't think she's exciting enough. I mean, she's amazing on her own because she has so many options, but all of them are very middling. They're like, oh, okay, this is fine. Oh, this is fine. But she has 6 of them, but she just isn't very exciting. And then Domri Raid, I think I haven't used him, but I could see adding him because I have so many creatures in this. But for now, I've just been using Sarkhanval because, he pumps your creatures, he steals their creature, and then he just makes a ton of creatures. He cares about creatures so much, and he goes perfect in this. So, he's fine. Also, I think, Samet is the other one, and come on, no one's going to ever put that in their cube. Next, we have Simic. All right, first we'll talk about the card that I could probably easily cut. But I love this card so much just because look at that art. Full art. I love them. But yeah, Void Slime easily could get cut, and it probably will eventually. But yeah, I just love the art so much. And it's one of those cards where I got it. I was like, heck yeah, I'm putting this in my cube. Predator, 2/3 flying for 3 is fine. And the fact that it hits a player, it destroys target enchantment or artifact, it's just so annoying. It's just a good card to have to just try and mess up their board so much. And I don't think this will ever get cut just because it's such a good utility card of just taking out stupid, annoying things. Altered Ego is a newer one that I haven't really got to play with too much, but I just love the idea of it. It can't be countered. And basically, if you just pay 4 mana, you get a clone, which is fine with me. But if you have a ton of mana to dump into it, you get a giant, clone. So I think that's good. I might try and change Simic, because Simic doesn't really have too much of identity here. Maybe more into a counters deck, just +1/+1 counters and stuff. Prophet of Krufix, amazing card. This deck does kind of care about having a lot of mana just to dump into things. So I love this just for that. And giving everything flash, that's always nice. It's just a good card all around, I think. Edric, Spymaster of Triest, I don't know. Doesn't really fit the green-blue. Drawing cards is nice. Whenever any of your creatures attack, you draw a card, basically. But if I were to really tighten up the cube and, give the colors identity, he'd probably get cut just because, he's great on his own, but he doesn't really fit, green-blue, I feel like, if I was going for, a clone or +1/+1 counters type of thing. Because I got Progenitor Mimic here, who makes a ton of creatures. 6 mana, just making, if you don't have a way to deal with this, it's just annoying as hell. Love this guy. At first I was like, oh, he's not that great. But then I played with him and holy crap, he's amazing. So Could easily see going green-blue and just making like clones and +1/+1 counters. And then we have Nissa, Steward of Elements. Holy crap. In Limited, she's pretty freaking good, I have to say. It kind of sucks that Kiora has 2 Planeswalker cards, and I'm still running this. I'm still running Nissa. Like, Kiora, I love that card. Like, but she's just so slow, and I don't know. Just there's something about that card that's never really worked for me. But Nissa totally works for me. I mean, Scry 2, that's fine, but it's a +2, which is nice. Then you get free spells, basically, or free creatures, basically. And then you get 2 5/5 flyers in the air just to finish the game at the end. Like, so good. All right, let's move on to Boros, one of my favorite guilds. Boros Charm. I mean, it's right in the name. You gotta have it. It's just so good for this type of deck. 4 damage target player. Permanent controller indestructible, or target creature gains double strike. Like, yeah, that's everything Boros wants to do. I mean, and it's Boros, so of course it's just going to be the normal Boros deck. You're just freaking attacking and doing damage. Boros Reckoner, right there. Give it first strike. Any damage dealt to it, dealt to target creature or player. It's a 3/3 for 3. Amazing card, unlimited. Especially if you get it every turn. Lightning Strike, of course. Gain life, deal damage. Amazing. Assemble Legion. That's a little different, I have to say. But it's a really fun card. It's really dumb. Like, if your Boros deck is maybe not just getting there, you need a little curve topper. Yeah, it's not super fast or anything, but if you get this down, it just goes out of control so fast. You're just getting a ton of just a Legion. And if you can pump them up somehow, oh, so good. Okay, now, I don't know how to pronounce this. Iris? Irois? God of Victory? Whatever. This guy, not convinced he's that great, but Boros is a really hard color to fill out with 7 cards. 4 mana for 7/4. Yeah, okay, if you have Devotion. But its like enchantment abilities are just okay. Gives all your creatures menace. That's nice. And then prevent all damage to be dealt to attacking creatures you control. Okay, yeah, those are nice, but for 4 mana, I don't know. Really gotta get that Devotion to go off, and then it's just, you know, getting chump blocked a lot, but still, 7 damage if it gets through, really nice. It's just very unexciting, and I don't know, this is one I could easily see cutting if a better Boros card comes around. Figure of Destiny, I mean, it's the original, like, leveling mechanic. It's awesome. It's just a great 1-drop, and just gets out of control so fast. Probably never cut this card. Actually, you know what? I could see cutting this eventually, because something better will come along. But right now, it's just a really good card all around, I think. And lastly, our Planeswalker is Ajani Vengeant. I love Ajani Vengeant. This card is so annoying to play against. I mean, tapping their stuff down, Boros loves that. Dealing damage, gaining life, Boros loves that. Destroying their lands, nobody loves that except for the person who's destroying the lands. So yeah, I love this card. I love the pre-release art. This is one like early card I got. I was like, I gotta run him. There's been there's been Nahiri, who's not a bad card. I could see running her in Cube, but I don't know if Ajani will ever get cut just because I love that card so much. Rakdos. Dreadbore. I mean, you gotta run this card. Way to deal with creatures and planeswalkers. Yeah. Rakdos. It's kind of just, you know, destroy things and mess with the other player. I mean, you're just making him discard stuff and just wrecking things. That's what Rakdos does. Terminate. Destroy target creature, can't be regenerated. And I love the freaking DCI art here, the promo. Just so dumb. A volcano hitting a creature. A little overboard, but okay. Maris Redcap. Not much. I mean, everyone knows what this does. The art's amazing. And yeah, it's a fun little creature. Rakdos' Return. Like I said, making an opponent discard cards and deal damage to them. Always nice. Nice little finisher too. You know, if you have it. If you got enough mana for it. Blightning. This one could be cut, but I love that it just deals damage. Discard 2 cards for 3 mana. It's just such a good card. That art in foil is amazing. Like, yeah. But yeah, I could see eventually cutting if something comes along, but I really like the whole discard deal damage. It's basically what Rakdos is doing in my cube. Fulminator Mage. I mean, if you want to just wreck people and destroy the lands, yeah. And it's black, so there is some reanimate going on in my black section. So, yeah, that could get really dumb. Falkenrath Aristocrat. There's a card maybe I could cut. I just like it because flying, haste, freaking hit for 4 in the air. But the whole sacrifice a creature, it gets indestructible. And if it's human, +1/+1, that's nice. But you also have to like sacrifice things. But if you have a way just, get tokens out or something, this card just gets annoying. But yeah, I can see eventually it getting cut. But for now, keep it in just as a nice little like fast creature, get in there and get some damage. And our Planeswalker, Duretti, Ingenious Iconoclast, whatever. So cheap Planeswalker, comes with 3 loyalty, is +1, you get a 1/1 artifact. Sure, why not? Right there, tokens. Right there for make her indestructible. Way to keep himself safe. -1, destroy, sacrifice an artifact, destroy target artifact or creature. Okay, yeah, I mean, I have a ton of artifacts in this cube. He's making his own, so basically he has a way of just destroying a ton of things. And his -6, choose an artifact in a graveyard or on the battlefield, and put 3 tokens or copies of it onto the battlefield. Oh, what? Okay, he cares very much about artifacts, but he also, like, isn't only about artifacts. But yeah, pretty good. Rakdos, it's a little weird, but also, I mean, the Rakdos Planeswalkers aren't that great, I have to say. So he's definitely, the best of them, I think. And our last guild, Orzhov. Orzhov cares about destroying things. They all kind of care about destroying things. A little bit of life gain. And yeah, that's about it. We got Anguish and Making. It's basically Vindicate, but you lose 3 life. Speaking of, it's instant speed, which is always nice. There's also the Utter something, but it's 4 mana at instant speed. And it's just like, no, I'd rather have the one that's cheaper, even if it does 3 life. Vindicate, same thing, destroy target permanent. This one's non-land, so you can destroy lands at 3 mana, but sorcery speed. And I love that art. That art is just amazing. Like, this is one of the ones I got early on for my cube, and it'll never be cut. I love it so much. Mortify, another destroy target creature or enchantment. I mean, there's all 3 mana, just destroy stuff. This one, it's a little bit more narrow, but I mean, you're always going to take it. It's removal. Ashen Rider. So it used to be Angel of Despair, then Ashen Rider came along, and I like it more because it's exile target permanent, but it does cost a lot of mana, but this is more for the, enter the battlefield deck where you can blink stuff and just kill a ton of things. So Object Ghost Council. This card is just crazy on its own and limited. It just can eventually kill your opponent. Yeah, this card, it doesn't even matter about these colors. What these colors want to do, gain life and make your opponent lose life, and just have a creature that's pretty good on the board. But yeah, on his own, he's just amazing. Blood Baron, right there. Trying to get some life there. If you do, 6/6 and flying. Lifelink, protection, white and blue. Ugh, gross. And last, our Planeswalker, Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. So there's a lot of Sorins out there. This one I like just because it's +1 makes a good blocker. Its -2 is an emblem that makes all your creatures better and just stays on the board. So I always like that. And its -6 is probably the one where I'm like, it's fine. Destroy 3 target creatures and or planeswalkers, and then basically you get them. So yeah, there's the Solemn Visitor, which is nice because of the whole lifelink thing, but it makes a 2/2 at -2, and I don't like that too much. And then there's the Grim one. He costs way too much. He's 6 mana. But, if maybe I was going, I have a token theme in white, so maybe that could work out better. But I just don't like that he's 6 mana. So this one's always, the one I've liked the most for the black-white. And then lastly, I try to stay away from 3 colors. But, oh, man. I mean, Maelstrom Wanderer, that card's just dumb. I love it because it costs a ton of mana, and it just does so much dumb stuff. So I'm like, yeah, if you can get the mana for it, sure, go hog wild. I love that. And then Nicol Bolas came out, and I was like, holy crap, this Planeswalker is amazing. If you get the mana for that, sure, you're going to win because his 4 abilities there are just crazy good. I don't know how you lose after you play him. Maybe eventually I'll try and get 1 card for each of them. But for now, I'm just sticking with these 2, and I think they're just a fun little thing to try and reach for, a goal to aspire to. But yeah. All right, so that's my multicolor. Kind of informs how the cube goes, but we'll get more into that later on. All right, so sorry about that. Really a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but hopefully you stuck through it. That's just the multicolor for my cube. We got plenty more. We got lands, artifacts, and all the colors. So I don't know. Just thought I would do these once in a while. Just, take it easy. Just, talk about cube, which I love. And just like what I want to do for this channel was just talk about Magic. So this is a way for me to talk about Magic. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft. This program brought to you by viewers like you.